Good morning, boys and ghouls. This is Royce Miller coming back at you with yet another fast food fave. And now that I'm done doing a really bad impression of Bela Lugosi, or is it Bela Lugosi? I don't know. I always heard Bela Lugosi. Um, Time for the scariest thing of all: hypertension and clogged arteries. Because today on the docket we have Wendy's. What's the Wendy's slogan again? Oh yeah, where's the meat? Where's the beef? Sorry. And then I go into how the stuff was done. And what is the thing that is the object of... Excuse me. Oh, God, you all saw the Frosty video. You know what just happened. The object of obsession today is... the Baconator. Yes. One of the most classic items on Wendy's menu. And I was there when it came out. I remember the dude in the red wig walking down the street to black and white, pointing at a big billboard saying, "Bacon!" Because it was announcing to the whole world what we all knew was coming to pass. A double cheeseburger with bacon, cheese, mayo, and ketchup. Pure, simple, elegant. And completely disgusting. I have mentioned in the past that I'm not a huge fan of the advent of the fresh, of the quote-unquote fresh patties. But just because I find them to be usually under-seasoned. But let's dig in and see if I'm correct this time. Of course, it doesn't really matter in this case because you have the interplay of the mayo and ketchup, giving it so much needed sweetness and kind of that sour savoriness from the ketchups, the vinegar in the ketchup, and then the creaminess of the mayo and the bacon, the cheese. It all goes so well together. Mayo and bacon are a match made in heaven, which is weird because they're both incredibly unhealthy for us. What is the one thing you always get on a BLT? Mayonnaise. In fact, before I got into tomatoes, I didn't order BLTs, I ordered BLMs. Which, yes, Black Lives do matter, but sorry. I realized it as soon as I said it. But yeah, these are very plain patties. And kind of dry. I honestly would prefer a fattier meat, because a fattier grind, because that would give it more flavor, a little more juiciness. I mean, if the patty's going to be this dry either way, then give me a crispy burger. Squish it a little. Give me a smash burger. So I worked at Wendy's briefly in 2015, and during my time there, mostly I'd be getting the home style chicken sandwich. I think they call it something else now. Just your basic chicken fillet, that's been deep fried in a pressure cooker with mayo, tomato, and lettuce on a brioche bun. But I've done so many chicken sandwiches from Wendy's for this specific thing, or for, the Let's Tries, that I wanted to spotlight the burger first. Eventually, we will run into reruns, and things will start blending together, unfortunately, but for now, I still have a few new things I can try. Or a few, like, things to spotlight that haven't been shown on this channel before. That was a weird time for me, because, like, I was wasting all my disposable income buying comic books. Like, I had just gotten into comic book collecting. And that was... It was so painful a couple years later when a leaky pipe in the basement caused all my comics to be flooded and almost all of them to be destroyed. I was livid because there were some really good comics there. There was Sensational She-Hulk. There was a really good Ghost Rider comic from the 70s that was about him racing the Grim Reaper. There was the Batman wedding issue. I think there was some like IDW comic about horses or something. I can't remember. I lost all those. Anyway. I was so grateful when I finally got to quit that job. Like, I was not cut out for fry cookery. So, I was the fry cook, right? The griddle was right here. So I stood here, you know. Behind me was the fat fryers, and they produced these awful fumes that choked me. I hated them so much. Absolutely wretched. Absolutely wretched. I do have a second one here, but I'm not sure if I want to eat it right now because that first one was pretty good and was pretty hearty, and I just had that awful experience. Well, it wasn't awful because of the milkshake. It was awful because I choked. Not choked. You know what? I can already hear the gurgle in my stomach. It wants more. But I'm gonna probably hibernate after this. So, also, there's like one Wendy's in my side of town right now. And so, like, you have to get there at a very special time. Otherwise, you were going to be behind a bunch of people and it's going to take forever to get your order. Luckily, there's a Taco Bell across the street. Takes a lot of the heat off. But they're both just. But anyway, and these were a lot more expensive than they used to be. Like when they first premiered, I think they were like $3. When I got them while I was working at Wendy's, I think they were like $5 to $6. Now they're like almost $8, I think, if not $8. And it's just miserable, man. Inflation's hitting everything like a truck. Like, the worst one hit is probably Sonic, you know, the drive-in place. Like, if you want to see how insane the prices have gotten, just Google Sonic inflation. Make sure safe search is off. Please don't do that. That's an old joke. That's a really old joke. But don't Google Sonic inflation. You will be sorely, sorely hurt. Again, the patty's very dry. It needs more sauce. This seems to be a problem that the Nacho Burger and Pub Burger kind of circumvented. There we go. Much more even, much less. One little fast food hack that I really want to highlight involves Wendy's and McDonald's. Maybe I'll show you that one day. Also, I was looking at the menu and I got to thinking, like, maybe for my 3K sub thing, I'll try all the Wendy's salads in a live stream. You know, see how that goes. I'll need to actually record it, though, as well as live stream it so my grandma can see it. Because she watches me through the YouTube app on her TV. So she doesn't get to see the live streams. Also, hi Grandma, I'll see you on Monday. I love you. Again, like, it'd be a much better patty if they appropriately seasoned it. And like, I hate saying that because like I don't believe that a burger patty should be over seasoned. Like, I don't like when people add onion powder or garlic powder to a burger, but just salt and pepper, you know. You'd be surprised how much better stuff tastes when you appropriately salt and pepper your patties. One of the funniest things my other grandma, one of the funniest stories my other grandma told me was my grandpa had been on a no salt diet for a couple years by that point, and a friend brought them over just some like pan fried catfish she had made, and they ate it, and it was one of the best things they'd ever had. And they asked her like, "How did you make this?" Whoa, excuse me, sorry. They asked her, "How did you make this? This is so good." And she's like, "Oh, you know, just salt and pepper." That is how important those seasonings are. You know, like, they don't belong in the table. They belong, like, right in front of the oven. Like, if you aren't using salt and pepper with every savory dish you make, you're doing something wrong. Unless, of course, you are on a no-salt diet. Then, you know, well, sorry. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. Y'all have a good one. This is Royce Miller. I'm outie.